remember back in my early teens, though, I can remember hunting out of forks of a tree or whatever. You cut your steps out of limbs or what have you, and brings back some good memories seeing an old stand like that. And just wonder how many of y'all have ever hunted out of a old homemade stand or made one yourself or something. Comment below or something, tell me about your experiences with some stands maybe you built when you was young, or before climbers and all that even become a thing. That's what we hunted out of growing up, and just brings back good memories being in the woods and running across stuff like this right here. It's pretty neat to find. Ain't many of them left. You run across a few every now and then, but most of them's rotted, but every now and then you come across some. So pretty neat seeing that here. One tree here. One tree there. Deer trail. I know a lot of times got a big field open up here, comes down, and this is kind of growed up a little bit, field here, and you got a patch of woods right here. It runs right up through here. A lot of times these deer like to go, that's where this pretty good little patch of woods runs through here. These deers like to travel through these little cover, and then they come to these fields. They like to cut over and travel. They use these little patches of woods to travel, and it's a good places to set up and good ambush them as they travel along. Don't want to get out, especially these big bucks don't want to get out in these fields. They'll travel along through these little patches of woods, and good place to set up and catch them crossing and stuff. Oh, tree. Good trail. Trail's running in here. This is another little piece of woods from that open little field down here. And then bucks, they like to travel through here. As you can see, there's another little opening right here, and it comes to that field, but they like to cross, and then there's another field here. They like to use these little patches of woods to travel along. Right here's a good place to set up. And I've along the way I've hunted these. I've killed a couple of decent bucks catching them travel through this wood line right here. And I like to hunt areas like this. It's they really travel back and forth through here. If you can catch little patches of woods narrow, and just a good place for a big mature buck or does and to be hanging out and traveling along, stay out of that open field or more open area. Here's kind of that little open area that I was talking about. Here's that patch of woods are coming across over. Kind of got a field. It's a little thick, but they still Got this opening comes through here, leading out to an open field, but they'll cross right through here. They'll use these patches of woods to travel along. If you get in areas like this, it's I would suggest you hunt them good because they love to travel through little patches of woods like this. Good travel area for them. Got a growed up field up here. Goes back in kind of, I don't know if you can see the tree line or not, but it's a pretty good little area that's growed up. But them deer, they like to travel right around the edges of these growed fields and stuff. A lot of times deer like to travel. See that trail? They go up, just stay on the outskirts of these growed up fields and stuff, especially these bucks and stuff. They right here, you can see he's traveling right around the edge of that growed up field here, and their trails, they just come right up through here. Good horn tree right here. You can see that field I was talking about kind of growed up. It runs back that way. He's traveled down. He's standing at the edge of these woods. Like I say, they love to travel right along the edge of these fields. He's traveled the edge of these woods. He's got a good horn line. I can see one right down there too. One over here. Right there, he's hit that a little bit. And there's another one. They travel right along the edge of them old fields and stuff. And, it's old one. A lot of times them bucks will stay. There's another field down below us here. It's kind of growed up, but still, as you can see, he stays. And bucks like to stay right up in these little patch of woods and travel through these little patches. That other field's right in here. He's got a good horn line coming right through here. Good trail. And yeah. Like I say, that other field's right down here. He's traveling, staying just right on the edge of the wood line coming up from there. It's a pretty good buck right here. Yeah, man. Good sign. Yeah. Oh, it's been. It's a nice buck. It's done that. I'm standing. It's sloped just a little bit right here. Not a whole lot, but you can see me. I'm standing. He's right here. I'm 6'1", so that's a pretty good buck. He's hitting right in here. That's a pretty good size buck doing this right here. So, like I said, it's good to know getting here late season and scouting. It just opens it up to what, you know, like I said, I hadn't been able to make it over in this section any, and I was wanting to get in here. Like I said, I got to get some cameras, but I was wanting to get in here and do a little scouting too, maybe for next year. Just didn't have time to get all over this area like I'd like to, but this right here is some good sign. It's promising on where next year kind of I can come look and see, and maybe, because this is a nice buck right here. So it's good. Got me pumped up about next year already, so looking forward to it. But we'll ease on up around the edge of this field, runs out through there. We'll ease on up the edge of this hills that goes up and see what else we can see, because like I said, them bucks and stuff, they love to travel right along the edge of these fields and little patches of woods through here. tree. There's one. Right down here, I'm on the upper side of that growed up field. Just to kind of show y'all what I'm talking about. Them deer, they love to travel just along the edge. Right here, and you see it's a little thick. They're traveling right around through here, going down, but they're not out in that thick stuff. Not saying a buck or they won't get out in them thick fields. I've seen them in it, but majority of the time, them big bucks are going to cruise just on the edge of these grown up fields or even cut down fields. They're going to cruise right along the edge. This wood line is excellent, I'm telling you, excellent place to catch these mature bucks traveling. I've had a lot of luck in the past hunting areas like this. It's just a natural travel for them because they're, you know, like I said, during a rut you might catch them out after a doe or something, but most of the time you're not going to get that mature buck come out in that open or in them fields much, and he's going to be traveling just on the outskirts of it. So if you're hunting anywhere like that or something, just start paying attention on the outskirts within that wood line, and should be a good trail. You'll get on a good horn line or something too. Another good horn tree right here. This is that field I was telling you about. It's growed up down in here. It's kind of, once you get by these trees, it's kind of open. It's high grass, but still, them bucks, them deer want to travel. They want to stay right here on the edge of these. I mean, I found several horn trees already just around this field here where he's traveling around through here and down through this holler. There's a big thick area, you can't really tell from here. Go through this holler, there's a thicket over there. They're bedding, probably bedding in there. It's a big thick area. And just coming out of that bed around, traveling around through here. And I tell you, another good area to hunt. You got this ridge running straight down here. You can see this trail here. Catch them deer traveling. They love crossing over these ridges, especially if you can find a flat, like an old bench or something that runs around. You can see these trails right here. They're actually running. They're traveling through. You can see right there, it's just big old thick area right there, which sure is a bedding area. These trails is heading right over that way, probably bedding, coming out of their bed, and they're traveling. But you know, another good pointer, anytime you can catch these ridges with a bench or something, usually you'll find a lot of good sign trails, stuff like that. You see trails coming off right out of these ridges, coming down, hitting this bench, going right out through there, going right over into that thicket. But if you can find these little benches or something crossing over this little ridge running down and stuff, traveling up, hitting this bench, probably heading back to the bed or back over that way to them fields maybe to feed and stuff. As earlier I was saying, talking about these ridges running down, this is an area that I hunted this year during late muzzleloading. This ridge comes down, you can see this trail. It is wore out. And it runs through here. And see, it runs and goes right up a hill over into that thick stuff. I was hunting, like I said, it was late muzzleloading, coming out about 10 o'clock. And I was actually just set up right down the hill right here a little bit. Wind was blowing back down that way. bedding area here, good trail. I mean, wore out. He come out of his bed, I guess that morning, walking through, and shot him about right here somewhere. And but that goes back to what I was talking about on these hillsides, especially where these ridges come down. If you can pay attention and get on a good trail like this, a lot of times these bucks, they'll travel along these trails. You'll find a good buck trail. And put a picture of him on there. He was a 9 I got, and actually had a trail camera up here on this tree. I'm gonna come get it down. But you can see this trail, and it's wore out. So just keep in mind on these hillsides and stuff, these ridges run down, them deer love to travel parallel like this with the hills. And another good thing about late season too, after the season's out for scouting, it lets you get in here to these bedding areas to maybe see, you know, where they're bedding, how they're traveling, where they're going, where these trails is coming out of good. You know, during the season you really don't want to get in these bedding areas and bump them out of here and mess them up. So it gives you a good time to, you can see it's thick in here. Good place, bed, got a good horn tree right here. And it kind of gives you that opportunity to walk around and see where they're coming out of these beds and stuff at. And as you can see, it's thick in here all the way around. And that's just another advantage of late season, that you get in these bed areas and check them out good and seeing where the trails is heading and stuff like that. Maybe for next year you'll have an ideal where to set up around this bedding area, or where the heavier traffic is in these beds, and maybe where they're at better. So just keep it in mind if you've not done any after the season. I mean, try it sometime. And like I said, you might stumble across a shed or two late season, and but it's a good opportunity to get out and places, especially that you've not been and seen. You can see it, give you a heads up for next year, especially these bedding areas. You can get in here and really see what trails that they're traveling better or something maybe next year, and it'll give you an idea maybe where to set up a little bit more or something. So it's you can learn a lot from this late season, just getting out walking and seeing the sign, and especially if it's in areas like I said that you didn't get to see. I've learned some already since I've been here to some of the areas that I hadn't get to back there on them horn tree stuff. Found some pretty good sign, and actually I'm working back around this hillside and kind of want to just get down below, walk around this bedding area and come back down and get below this bedding area and see what kind of trails maybe is coming out. Got some pines and stuff down there. It might open up a little bit more. Maybe just kind of get an idea where they're traveling to and stuff. Well, that bedding area lays right in here. I just worked myself down that bedding area, followed this trail down, come down. It's kind of horn tree here, horn tree here. Found this bench coming out of this bedding area. I want to walk it out through here a little ways, and as you can see, these 3 or 4 horn trees right here coming out of that bedding area, and there's a bench. Kind of runs parallel going out this way. So I'm gonna walk and see if maybe see what else is through here, any kind of more horn trees or whatever. But I'd say they're traveling, coming out of that bed, and they're probably hitting this bench. Looks like a good trail coming out through here. Yeah. They're just walking this trail out through here. Comes another good trail out of that bedding area onto this bench. That's what I was talking about earlier. If, especially you can find them flat benches off these ridges coming down. And deer like to hit them benches, and then it's an easy access for them. So anytime you can get some good trails on a bench or something, good area to hunt for sure. Still walking that bench, coming out of that bedding. So he's horning trees as he goes, travels this way. Some deer drops. It's a good traveled path he's traveling here. And he's gonna feel, see it's kind of open, thick here. It's thick down below it. This buck gonna feel safe traveling this bench. I mean, this is a good ambush spot. If you can get out here to, maybe we'll go out here. I see some pines and stuff. Maybe it opens up a little bit more. Would be a good place maybe to set a stand and catch him traveling out this bedding area from and to right here. But I'm thinking right up here would probably be a good spot. We'll see what it does if it opens up. I see some pines and stuff, so it might open up a little bit more. Maybe, like I said, next year, you know, it'll give me an ideal. I found this bench here, so next year it'll give me an idea, especially if I can, we'll walk out here, and if it opens up any at all and can find a good place to climb, I'll mark it on my Onyx, and that way next year I'll have a good spot to start, you know, start on, because right here is, I like this place right here. It is thick, and this buck, he's traveling this bench out through here, so I'll just ease on out through here a little ways toward these pines and see if we can find a more open area or something out here, more sign or something. Well, I've eased on out this bench. I've been walking. I'm on out here about another, I guess I come on out about another 50, 75 yards from where I was at a minute ago, and starting to open up just a little bit, not a lot. Got a good trail branching off, going up through this pine thicket. Right here, got a good trail on this bench here. Got trails coming off here. I mean, this is a good looking spot right here. I really like, I mean, you got good trail wore out going down through here, down through here. Got trail going up, branching off right here. And good looking area. This goes back. That trail's kind of going on in here, but branching off here. Some good trails coming up. Some horn trees right down there. I can see a couple horn trees. Kind of flat right here and then drops off again. But you can see this trail. Man, I really love this spot right here. Catching this deer's traveling through here. That'd give me an idea next year maybe to probably gonna growed up pretty good here. Not a lot of trees. Might be able to We'll walk up here. These trails branch this way. Looks like them pines go on around. There's another big holler over here. But maybe if I could find one of these pines again, I could look down over some of this thick here and get a shot right in here on this trail. Be a good spot. See what it looks like right up here. You can see these trails running. Oh, right up, yeah. Oh yeah, horn tree. Right there. It's kind of a little pine thicket right here, good trail. Running right in here. Yep, horn tree here. Good looking area right here. I got that trail here. Kind of thick down in here. Could probably get a shot. Maybe. Branch broke. Yeah, got some horn trees right here. Oh yeah. He's probably, yeah, right here. This pine here would be a good tree. Just trail's close, but they some, oh yeah, look here. Got horn trees everywhere in here. There's one of them. It's kind of a little growed up field like I was talking about earlier. And if you'll notice, it's thick, it's growed up. But a lot of the trails branched off that bench, and they started around here. And that bucks, them does is probably traveling through there. And I'm not saying them bucks won't, but I believe you can notice all the horn trees that's come off this trail. Here, he's veered off. He stayed up in this wood line out of them little fields like I was telling you about down here earlier, the fields we seen. Them bucks, they like to walk these tree lines, and it shows again from what I showed you earlier, how he come around them fields, and them fields growed up probably about like this is. But them bucks like to travel just on the edge of them fields. They still feel safer in this, which there's a lot of horn trees, so it shows me them bucks are traveling through here. Right there's another horn tree right in there. But I believe right here, I believe I could climb that pine, give me some good cover with this tree too in this background. Looks like there's a dip right in here. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I didn't get to get over here this year and scout none of this. Just, it was late muzzleloading before I got in here and hunting different areas. But I did end up killing one good buck here, and it was back on out that way where I hunted, where I was showing you on that trail. Killed one good buck, but I'd like to get, definitely we'll be in here next year. I mean, it's a good spot. I want to ease right on out this trail. There's a little dip that goes down here and goes up, and the Onyx showed a big holler, kind of a growed up field, but an open field more back in that way. So I want to ease on out this way and see maybe what we can see on around through here, because these horn trees right through here, and these horn lines, and I'm telling you too, I love to find these horn lines. I love hunting a horn line. I mean, finding scrapes and stuff, they're nice, but I'm telling you, through my experience of all the years I've hunted, I love to get on these horn lines. That's where I killed the majority of my deer, is get on these horn lines. There's a little tree horn here. I mean, they travel these horn lines, them bucks. I mean, they're through here. And I think a lot of people that I've noticed seems to jump around a lot. And I mean, I don't know, a lot of running and gunning, I guess you'd say. But I'm telling you, if you're finding sign, you're finding horn trees, scrapes, I mean, good trails. There's deer droppings everywhere. I mean, man, stay in there and hunt that area. I mean, you know, you might come in there and hunt it a day, you know, and a lot of people, they're bounced to somewhere else. I'm telling you, if that sign is there, in my experience, hunt it, you know, at least 3 good days. I mean, I'd love to, if I'm finding a sign, I'll stay and hunt 3-4 days. I mean, if I'm finding good horn tree line, I mean, there's tracks, there's poop, I mean, there's good sign. I mean, don't be in a hurry, man, to jump to another spot. I mean, if you're in that area and you're finding good sign, the deer's there. I mean, if you're finding buck sign, he's there. It's just a matter of when you catch him coming through. And he will eventually. He will travel these trails. I've killed several bucks on these horn lines, man. I like to hunt them, but you know, maybe try, if you're one of them that likes to, you know, run and gun. I mean, if that's for you, that's fine. But man, try it one time. Just find you a good area that you know they sign in. There's good horn trees, trails, tracks. Man, hunt it. Give it, you know, 3-4 days, and a lot of times it'll produce. I mean, if there's a good buck in there, he will travel. It's just a matter of catching him traveling that trail, but he will travel that trail. So, but I want to ease on out through here and see what I can see through that dip. I mean, it's another one of them ridges kind of coming down. Probably going to be a good spot, and I'd bet these horn trees probably full right down in here too. But I'm going to ease down in here and see. Oh, it's a big scrape at one time. Tracks in it. See this trail? See, here's one of them benches like I was telling you about earlier too. If you can find these benches, they travel. You can see it goes down, and there's a good trail coming right off the side of that ridge. If you can see it down there, it comes, hits this bench, and right there's a horn tree there. He walked around, had a big scrape here in this bench. It walks, it goes right on around through there. There's a horn tree. You can't see it probably. It's another horn tree right back down there. And I'm telling you, these deers love the, right there's a good trail coming off the side of that ridge down. They love to they love walking these benches here. Yeah, there's that trail. It comes down off there. This is that bench coming, I just showed you, coming out of that holler. Coming around through here. And there's a horn tree. There's a good horn tree. Yeah. But you can see this trail. Good trail right here on this bench. Boy, they love these benches. And there's a lot of sign in here. I found a lot of horn trees over in here today on this area. So there's a lot of activity over here. I have to try to get my trail cameras and give me some more trail cameras out in here. Oh man. Get down here to this big old horn tree. Just off this trail a little bit, but yeah, man. Yeah, boy. Daggone. Yeah, boy. Look at there. Yeah, that's a nice one. I'm definitely going to have to get over here on this side this coming year and hunt this. I mean, they was sign over there where I was at, and I killed a good 9-pointer back over off that trail. But I'm telling you, I have over here, like I said, I hadn't even been over in here none this year. Hadn't had a chance, just hunting other places, and and this and that, and but I mean, that shows you. You finding trees like that right there. There's some more good bucks in here, that's for sure. And man, that little horn tree, just a little one right there. Here's one tree. Yeah, just off that bench. I'll definitely be back in here next year on this side. I'll try to make sure to make it a point to come over here and hunt this. I found some good signs, especially, I'm telling you. It's just kind of thick right here. It'd be hard. You'd have to catch him on the edges of it or something. But like I told you, man, them horn lines, they'll produce. If you'll hunt them horn lines, I promise you, and you're finding some good ones, they'll produce for you. I've killed several deer hunting them horn lines. I mean, I like scrapes and stuff, but man, if I can find good horn trees next to a trail, telling you boys, it's good. You need to hunt them for sure. I want to ease on down through here a little bit. And it's kind of thick, like I say, it opens a little bit, but a lot of little saplings, little small growths in here. But go down here and check and see what else we can find. Some old horn trees. Well, I hope I said or done something today that maybe might have helped you out a little bit. Maybe a pointer, or maybe caught on to something that I said that you hadn't been doing, or what have you, or just hoped you enjoyed just walking in the woods with me. I learned some stuff today. Like I said, some of the area that I hadn't got to get over. Gives me a heads up for next year, maybe where to look. Put some markers on onX, so I'll be ahead of the game a little bit next year. When I go in there, I'll know where to go to, where I found sign and this and that. But like I said, just hopefully I said something and it could have helped you along the way. It's we learn stuff every day if you just listen, and I learn stuff watching other videos and things. And so I hope you enjoyed my little trip today and like it and stuff if you liked it. And again, just hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.